Hey guys, it's Nathan here from Set Sail and Rivers and Robots, and today I thought it'd be good to talk about morning routines. I've always loved the idea of being a morning person, but have to say I'm not naturally a morning person. It's something I've been trying to grow in. So I thought it'd be quite good to share some of the tips and tricks of what I've learned. So the first thing I've learned is that your morning routine starts the night before. So if you're staying up late watching Netflix till midnight, you ain't getting up in the morning, so you've got to set yourself up the night before. First thing is when it starts getting late, it's a good idea to take all of your electrical devices and take them out of your room and charge them downstairs somewhere, because if you're anything like me, you'll be sat there on your phone and you'll be like, oh, I wonder what's going on Instagram, I wonder what's going on Facebook, or random things as well, like, oh, I wonder what temperature a polar bear is when he's in the Antarctic, like, oh, I wonder when penguins migrate to wherever, like pieces of information that would be, I'm sure, are very fascinating to learn about, but it's something I don't need to learn about at 11:30 at night, so I can take all of my devices and leave them out of my room. Also, a really good idea is to buy yourself an alarm clock. Phones can do everything, so you can have an alarm clock on your phone, but if you start the day on your phone, like you notice, oh, I've got Facebook notifications, I've got emails, or if you're like me as well, you go, oh, I'll just watch this video on YouTube.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, watch this other video, sneezing pandas, double rainbows.
It's starting to even look like a triple rainbow.
Whatever, if you're like me, and you can easily lose a whole half an hour in your morning or an hour but if it's out of your room, you don't have that distraction. A good thing someone said is at night time, you need to put your phone to bed, and in the morning you need to wake your phone up. Another thing I like to do the night before is to make my packed lunch, choose what clothes I'm gonna wear the night before. If you don't do those things, you're already on a loser before you even start the morning routine. Then in the morning, what I like to do, I put my alarm clock on the other side of the room, because it means I have to stand up out of my bed to switch the thing off, and once I'm up, I'm up. Because I'm not a morning person as well, I find I need to treat myself in the morning, so I usually make myself a really good cup of coffee. At the moment, it's Hart and Graff coffee, a nice Manchester company, so I usually brew myself a coffee before I begin anything. And then I'll pour some fruit juice and have a banana. So that's 2 of my 5 a day already in the first 10 minutes. Then after I've made a coffee, I like to sit down and I'll read the Bible. So the whole Bible in a year app thing, some people love that kind of thing. For me, I'm quite an apathetic kind of person generally, so if I fall behind, I start feeling guilty about that, and then because I'm apathetic, I'm like, oh, I'll just sack it, I'll just do something else. So usually I like to read about half an hour of just going from Genesis to Revelation. I usually read 4 chapters a day, and then after that I like to do another half an hour where I'll just work my way through a book of the Bible. This year I've started working my way through Proverbs, so I'll start with 1 chapter and I'll just stay in that chapter for a week. And the reason I do the 2 is when you get to one of those boring bits in the Bible, I mean, let's be honest, from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zachor, from the tribe from the tribe of Judah, Caleb of Jephunneh, Issachar, Ilgal, son of... And when you get to those parts of the Bible, you kind of like, why am I sat here reading 4 chapters of tribes and tribal leaders and stuff? So that's why I like to do both. So I find if I don't get something on one of the reading plans I'm on, I'll get something on the other. So I do them both together in the morning. I love that bit in the Psalms where David talks about, as the deer pants for the water, so my soul longs after you. Because to me, that's telling me that David enjoyed spending time with the Lord. That's what you want to aim for. It needs to be an enjoyable experience. My favourite thing is when I've got a theology or a point of view and the Bible corrects me on it, and I love it when that happens. So that's how I start my day, and then usually I'll just get in the car and I'll usually whack on a worship song or worship album, and I'll just work my way to work. One of the things I like to do when I'm in the car is I like to think about who I'm going to meet in the day, and I'll pray for those people. Maybe I'm off to do some kind of meeting, or maybe there's some big decisions that need to be made. Also, if there's kind of stresses and things that I'm worried about, I find if I can take that to the Lord in prayer as well and just let go of that, before I start the day and just allow God into those areas as well. I think that's really important. I think that if you want to be strong in God and you want to do things for God and be fruitful, like, you need to have this kind of locked down, that you've got your own personal relationship with God. If I was married, which I'm not married, but if I was married and all that people saw of me was my public relationship with my wife, and there was no private relationship going on behind the scenes, that would be quite an unhealthy relationship. And it's possible to know a lot about God and share a lot about who He is, but not really have that personal walk with Him yourself. But we don't want to be people who just go through the motions. We want to be people who love Him, who know Him, who spend time with Him. There's a great quote from Oswald Chambers that says, "Service is the overflow which pours from a life filled with love and devotion." The idea is that what we do for Jesus should flow out of that life of love and devotion. We don't do this to look like super Christians. We do this because we want to have a really strong relationship with God. We want to know Him ourselves. We want to love Him ourselves. So I'd encourage you, carve out some time. Maybe it'll be in the morning like I'm doing, or maybe it could be in the afternoon or the evening. Get alone with God, maybe with a coffee, maybe with a brew. Work your way through the Bible and speak to Him and get to know Him and really get to grips with this. So I hope you found that helpful. Maybe leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you do in your morning routine. Maybe you have a different kind of thing you do. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff, and we'll see you next Friday.
Oh Lord